Thank you for joining us for creating the Paperless Office, finally, presented by Rising to Excellence Admin Training. Our videos are designed to focus on the administrative professional and fit into your already busy schedule and not break the bank. We offer a wide variety of videos focused on interpersonal skills, technical skills, and experience and advice-based on my over 40-year career in the admin field. Watch for announcements on social media for additional content releases. Let's get started. The COVID lockdown pushed how the workforce has changed. We learned to work remotely instead of it being a luxury. We learned we didn't need to print everything. We learned new tools. We learned how to delve deeper into known tools. Paul Ma, and that's spelled M-A-H, is a tech blogger who was formerly an IT professional. These days, he spends his time dissecting various tech news and developments at techblogger.io. According to Paul, quote, half a century after marketers coined the term paperless office, the concept largely remains a myth. Today's businesses probably can't go completely paperless, but these 14 tips will at least help them stop wasting paper and start improving productivity, end quote. The paperless office was a marketing slogan coined in the early days of the IBM computer. These days have not yet arrived, despite evidence that the use of paper may finally be on the downtrend. For proof, just step into any small business or office. At a time when most every employee has access to a computer terminal, and when mobile devices and pixel densities indistinguishable from that of media print are now commonplace, it's strange that more hasn't been done to reduce the usage of paper. There are strategies to begin on your process to reduce the paper used in your office. Rethink your procedures, electronic signatures, and your office supplies. The first tip is to track the number of pages printed by each person. Start by doing a survey by tracking the number of pages each person prints. Your IT department can probably provide this data by month. Sort and sift by largest job, by total largest jobs, and rank the top 10 to 20 people. Contact them first to offer suggestions on how to reduce printing. In an organization, we have new production equipment that does booklets, binding, hole punching, folding, etc. The clicks are much less expensive than the aging fleet printers, which are around 7 years old. Some costs are as high as 8 cents for color copies, and that's without paper, where our copy center can do them for under half a cent. When printing large jobs, the costs can add up. Our current software can send notices when a print job is sent telling them how much they could save by sending the job to the copy center rather than doing it themselves. Number 2, make it inconvenient to print. Some printing back-end software management systems, such as PaperCut, can limit larger jobs and actually stop them from being printed if that's what your organization wishes. I would recommend a company-wide communication, of course, before that is implemented. Our third tip is go paperless with vendors. Rather than receive bills in the mail, fax, or email, set up paperless billing on your websites. You can retrieve them monthly. Just set up a calendar reminder so you don't miss processing them and sending them for payment. And it would help alleviate all those lost invoices that I've dealt with during the last several years. Advocate for reusing slightly used, non-confidential pages. Some recycle-minded people may already be doing this, but collect your lightly printed on papers and use them for scratch or taking notes at meetings even. You can sign documents electronically rather than print, sign, scan, and resend by email or fax. By using DocuSign, PandaDoc, or even Adobe Acrobat, or 100 other applications for e-signatures that are now available. Some are paid and some are free. It just depends on the volume you need. You can stop using faxes. Our admissions office is one of the few offices on campus that still uses faxes to any degree. Basically, public school guidance counselors send admissions staff information while traveling. Most other offices no longer need their fax numbers, and we switched over to faxes on our copier printers when they were new, so the need has diminished. Also, some systems will accept faxes through email. That eliminates the automatic printing of a fax, which was usually a sales promotion or a spam anyway. I also suggest having a multiple monitor setup. I currently have two 24-inch monitors on my desk set at 125% zoom. I do have aging eyes. This helps me edit properly. When viewing a Word document, I always use the page width icon at the top of the page, which you have to go in and add yourself. So the document fits the entire screen left to right. Very often the zoom is 170, but it means I can tell an R from an N or an H. You can turn some monitors to portrait mode, which I've often seen done in doctors' offices. So if you edit or create a lot of Word documents, especially ones that are long, the entire page will fit on the screen rather than half or 2/3 of your page. With larger documents, it's very easy to lose your place when scrolling up and down for editing. Having 2 or even 3 screens, I often use my laptop that is in a dock as a third screen and refer to instead of printing a page. Our computers now recognize multiple monitor setups and can be programmed to the order in which you want to use them. For example, my left side monitor is where I keep email open all day. My mouse moves from left to the right for my second monitor, where I keep my company SharePoint portal open and the financials at my fingertips, since I do a lot of ordering and invoice processing. I also use that for my music streaming, which is usually YouTube or Spotify, and to quick check the Yahoo news page over lunch or Facebook if I have to Google things for research purposes. It did take me a while to get used to having 2 monitors, and it's become the norm rather than just one. Our 8th tip is to get electronic subscriptions. If your company has newspaper or magazine subscriptions, get the electronic copy rather than hard copy. We actually use a hybrid approach, having about a dozen copies of the local newspaper delivered every day. That's down from about 50 that we used to have. The access to the e-copy has been shared and is accessible on anyone's computer. Set up printers for default to duplex. Your IT department can program your printer copier to duplex by default. It may be frustrating if you need to print a single-sided copy, but a quick change in the settings will allow you to do that if needed. Also ask if you can default your color printers to black. Many people are unaware of the extra cost for color. On our contract, some devices cost as much as 8 cents for color, and black is about half a cent. We do an uptick for our chargebacks to other departments for usage each month to cover the maintenance and cost of paper. I think right now we're charging about 6 cents for a color copy. Scan documents to your phone. Your smartphone has the capability of downloading scanning apps, many for free. And if you already own Microsoft Office, you can use your email login to get and use the Microsoft apps for the Office suite, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or the suite as a bundle. Adobe Acrobat Reader is also available, along with many others that convert to OCR text without separate hardware. And as I understand it, the new iPhone automatically does that. As Paul says, successfully reducing the use of paper isn't a one-time event. It's a series of continuous efforts to move away from paper and establish a culture that frowns on waste. Re-architecting business processes to reduce paper usage is an unavoidable activity, but adopting the right tools can go a long way towards creating an environment to support the paperless office. Ultimately, businesses shouldn't stop at eliminating paper, but should push for greater digitization, in order to reap its full benefits. Know when it's necessary to print. Step up your company's recycle program, digitize contracts, invoices, and even paper notes from meetings. Find and use add-ons to your email and calendar rather than post-it notes around your desk. Create a sustainability committee to determine a standard for recycling for your company or organization. If you haven't scanned your most important files like contracts, if you're still using paper forms and the like, see if your company is open to digitizing them. You can create Word or Adobe fill-in documents quite easily now. Many IT departments use easy programs such as mock forms or others for form sharing on apps such as SharePoint. If you already have a sustainability committee, check with them for suggestions for your office to implement. If you don't have one, set up your company's recycling program. Encourage using lightly printed waste paper as scratch pads. Security risks. Evaluate existing workflows. Save costs by using cloud storage rather than filing cabinets. Copy clicks are often, especially when your devices age, costly. Data recovery costs from hacking and ransomware can get into the multi-thousands of dollars. In my case, when we moved to working from home, we eliminated the need for paper documents for invoicing and vouchers. Up until March 2020, we were printing approved vouchers, attaching the invoices, and sending them to our purchasing department for payment processing. When we were working remotely, we started emailing them instead. Purchasing still printed them out because we need to keep records for at least 3 years for these types of records. However, the back-end approval and review process can all be done electronically. They are still using hard copies to be transmitted to the business office for a check run each week. Then the copy of the check is stapled to the top of the document and filed away until the end of the year. The accounting process may be the last holdout as we all move to paperless offices, and some of that need is the multitude of people that have to handle the paperwork before it's completed. And some may be linked to the regulatory requirements and records retention policies already in place. Thank you for joining us for just a brief overview of suggestions on how to create the paperless office. Rising to Excellence Admin Training appreciates you spending your time with us today. And check back for future announcements with our newly released videos. Bye for now.